I contacted the Pregnancy Care Center March 2020 after I found out I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant about 2 hours before the tornado hit, and we're in East Nashville. And all I could think about at that time was, my life is over. My life is over. My husband and I were not anticipating being pregnant anytime soon, and just felt like not ready to be parents. So went from finding out I was pregnant, bawling my eyes out for about 2 hours, to then hiding in the bathtub with a tornado right down the street from our house. Next morning, wake up, we're walking down, looking at all the destruction, and my husband's work was impacted, so they were completely closed. And all we could think of is, what are we gonna do? So that week was just a blur, and then after that, my husband and I talked about, well, there's no way we could keep this baby. We were just not prepared. We were 2,000 miles away from any support system at home. And the following week, within a matter of days, COVID hit, and my husband lost his job, and it just became just fear. You know, my husband and I are both believers. Never thought we would believe and abortion would be an option, but at that time, it felt like that was the only thing that we could do. I literally felt like I had nobody to talk to, especially thinking that I may have an abortion. Majority of my friends are Christians, and that would be, I just didn't want to be judged on that sense. And because my mother is a Christian, I didn't think also I could tell her. And so it was a very lonely and isolating season, feeling like I had nobody to talk to except my husband, and just dealing with the shame and the guilt, and knowing if I get an abortion, how's that gonna affect my marriage? How is that gonna affect the way that God feels about me, and if God loves me? And how am I gonna feel about myself? Am I always gonna wonder what that child would have been like, he or she? So I need somebody in town I can talk to. So I just Googled and found the center and called, and what made a difference, even with COVID, is somebody answered right away. And you have a text line, so somebody texted me back. And to not have to wait for hours and hours and hours when it's on your mind every second is helpful, having somebody contact you back immediately, like, I see you, I hear you, let's connect. I contacted the Pregnancy Care Center mostly because I wanted counseling after an abortion. I knew that I was emotionally going to be wrecked with this decision, and that I needed somebody to talk to that didn't know me and can just be there and walk through that process with me. My first conversation was an hour long, just really understanding what I was going through, which I appreciated. To my core, I knew abortion was wrong. I knew it. But there's a sense when you go through something yourself, it's like, well, I guess it's okay. And I really had to challenge myself, well, is it okay? And why would this innocent life just be taken because I don't feel like I'm ready? Is that a reason enough? Okay, COVID, there's another reason. You know, what is the world gonna look like tomorrow? My husband doesn't have a job. Were those reasons enough for abortion or not? And I think at the end of the day, I knew it wasn't right, but more than just not right, it's like sin. If nobody knows about your sin, it's okay and you can keep doing it. It's like once you speak it out loud, it brings a realness and a light to it. And that's how kind of the abortion felt. You know, if nobody knew what I was going through, and if nobody knew that it happened, nobody would have to know, and I wouldn't have to feel shameful. But bringing it to light and talking to somebody helped bring it of, no, it's not okay, and I will get through this, and what is going to be the right decision in my heart. And at the end of the day, it was knowing that child mattered and that we needed to go through with this. And little did I know that conversation with Rachel for an hour would be lead us to keeping our baby and our son, and has been such a blessing. So in the beginning, once I contacted the Pregnancy Care Center, I was able to talk to a volunteer weekly. And they knew my situation and continued to pray for me. So over the series of conversations that I had, there's never been any shame. Never any shaming of what I've been feeling or what I've been going through. And I know that if for us to have this baby, we need support and we need help. Knowing that they had actually classes and you could meet in person was a big draw for me because I did need that community. So knowing, okay, I could do parenting classes, I could find community where I'm at. Knowing somebody is gonna call you and check up on you when they say they will feels good. And you have that support. That made my heart feel cared for and that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. And so from there, we continued with weekly phone calls. She'd ask about how my marriage is doing, how she could pray for that. Did we feel like we were on the same team? How is my husband doing with the news? Did we have an OB? How did that look? She knew all of the steps involved, I guess, and checked on it with us, and in a way that was just loving and caring. So my first time going to the pregnancy center, it felt good to put faces to the name and to actually see the center in action. Just be in that really calm, peaceful setting. You just feel the presence of God when you walk in. Being able to come in, grab maternity clothes, and shop and meet women who knew my name and said that they've been praying for me was a wonderful feeling. Where do you get that kind of support? It just feels very real. Every woman I've met has just been life-giving to me, and it's been so helpful to know that we have community. I've just seen God continually work in my life of having to surrender. My prayers have completely changed. My life has a whole new meaning now having a child. Before, when I found out I was pregnant and thinking my life was over, it's because I was so selfish. And now having a child, my life is not my own. It's about my child and wanting my child to love the Lord and have a great marriage. And how do I treat my husband and how does my child see that? Watching each other become parents has been wonderful, wonderful. And I'm so thankful God knows what we need before we ever do. And knowing that our son has just changed our hearts and softened our hearts, that God knew what we needed. There's a million things, places that you could put your money, your time into. And the fact that the women there give their time and their energy to not only save babies, but to truly, truly love on women is amazing. It's just so thankful to the donors, the people who donate their money to the center, who donate goods, clothing, baby products, the volunteers who donate their time. It just helps to know it comes from people who care. The center has blessed our life, obviously, in a multitude of ways. I'm so, so thankful for the ways that they have loved on me and my son, and not just us, other women. I can't even imagine how many women call and come in the center, and yet you treat us all with such dignity and respect. And that says a lot about the people that are volunteering, that they truly have a heart of Jesus, that want to serve him and serve people because they've been there themselves maybe, or they just want to love women. And I'm so, so grateful for that.